Hey, how you doing? It's Dan McDonald. I'm the Life Regenerator here on YouTube. This is a video dedicated to Harley and Freely and Christina and Doug Graham and Tavis and Lou Corona, all who have been on my mind a lot lately, and I've been corresponding with all of them except for Harley and Freely. First of all, I want you guys to know that obviously I'm a little bit bummed out by this whole thing. You know, but I don't harbor any negative feelings towards you at all. I mean, it's definitely like you guys are definitely doing a good job at, sharing your side of the story. And I really don't want to get involved in this, and I really have been wanting to avoid the drama. But I am going to wish you well, Harley and Freely. I'm going to wish you well because that's what I feel like that's the right thing to do. But I was just checking out an email, and I got to tell you, my heart's kind of been heavy, there's no doubt about that, about this whole whey protein thing, because there's people that, they've been following these videos for like 3 years, and all of a sudden I get an email, it's like, Dan, you've been hoaxing me the whole time, and that really breaks my heart. I have to unsubscribe because you're selling whey protein. And if I would have, in hindsight, I would have cleared things up. I would have said to people, hey, I'm associated with a company that sells these enzymes. At the time, I was working with NCP. I have since resigned from them completely. But NCP has these products that are it's called the Metabolic Accelerator, which I believe has pig adrenals. I've never seen the actual ingredient list, but apparently it has pig adrenals. If you all say that there's pig adrenals in there, then I'm just going to assume that that's true. Lou did tell me about that in the beginning. That's why Lou actually founded NCP, and then once the co-founder, who actually had more of a percentage of the company, got greedy and brought in the Metabolic Accelerator and brought in the whey protein, that's when Lou Corona pulled out of being one of the originators of the company, and he just became a distributor and dropped back, and he stayed below the radar real low because he knew that something bigger and better was coming, because now he started Paradigm, which is a totally vegan-based company. So it's nice to be associated with them. But anyways, he did tell me about that, and if I would have thought things through, I probably would have mentioned that in the beginning, so then all this probably wouldn't be happening. Well, I've since been resigned from NCP, but it doesn't have anything to do with what's been going on lately. It's been more so just the fact that I jumped on board with Paradigm, NCP withhold my check, and then I resigned from them, let them keep that money, and then I just move ahead with Lou here with the Paradigm stuff, because I really do love the probiotics and the enzymes, and if more people understood how useful those tools are, I think that more people would use them in this in their health programs. Anyways, let's see. So that pretty much clears that up there. I was associated with NCP. They sell whey. They'll sell pig adrenals. But you'll never find me ever saying one time to purchase whey protein. But it's funny, Harley, because I can go to 30 bananas a day and click, 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 and I could be right at some whey protein. So if someone goes to your Amazon link and buys whey protein, does that mean that you're guilty of promoting whey protein? Because I've never said it on a video. I don't think you ever have either, to say to eat whey protein. But I think this is coming out of the hurt that you feel from the fact that you got released from pioneer status at Woodstock Fruit Festival, which, hey, bro, I had nothing to do with. I'll tell you right now, Mike called me and said, hey, Dan, I need some advice. Because Mike calls me up every once in a while when he needs some advice. Sometimes he calls me up health advice, relationship advice, whatever. He called me up for some advice on this one here with the, and he said, Dan, I need some advice. And I'm saying, about what? Harley and Freely, you can't call me for advice, because I'm the least objective person in the whole thing. Because you've been kind of slamming me all this time, Harley, for whatever reason. I don't know, bro. I think you're trying to think that you're exposing people and all this stuff. But look, I like more fat. I really think that the mineral supplementations are huge, since 95% of Americans are mineral deficient. And minerals are the minerals are the key to everything, you know, and they're not in the soil anymore, and there's a whole hour-long video that I could make explaining why that is. But anyways, so I'm going to continue to promote mineral supplementation, bar none, period. I study with clinicians and experts in the field, and the results that they're getting I could never want to deny. So if that puts me in the category of huckster, I will wear that crown happily. But I recommend, especially to avoid birth defects, ADD, the obesity is also a mineral deficiency because people keep eating and eating and eating and eating and eating, and they're eating themselves to death because they're not getting the nutrition that they need in the form of the minerals. So people are starving. I mean, pregnant women eat all kinds of weird stuff. Why? Because of the mineral deficiencies. They'll even be out eating dirt. And so, you know, I'm going to be standing behind those mineral supplementation too. I've found a couple more really great products as well that I'm going to be promoting in the future. So that's just me, you know. I won't even have affiliate programs with them, and I won't make any money off of it. That's not what interests me, you know. Is just helping people to get results and sharing what I believe is the truth. So I'm hoping this guy Anthony Lopez, I've called him a couple times because I really feel inclined to explain to him, hey man, let me tell you the truth about the story. Now with the Young Living thing, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, Young Living essential oils, I'm using that in a program for myself starting next month with Tavis's help, who's been using the essential oils for a long time. Now every time I get to about day 6 or 7 on a water fast, a lot of the things that I did in my past start coming up into my blood, and I start getting very uncomfortable. So what I'm going to be doing is using the Young Living essential oils. Don't use essential oils unless you get some, you know, unless you study up on them and find out which ones work and what they do. But anyways, you know, I'm going to use the Young Living oils to help me carry out some of that sediment from the recreational drugs that I used in the past, which get very, very buried, and they're synthetic, so it's very difficult. Same thing with the pharmaceutical drugs, except for the some of the recreational drugs that I did were very filthy, and I get to day 6 or 7 or 10 on a water fast, and I start to clear that stuff out, and I get very, very, very uncomfortable. My skin starts to crawl and stuff like that. It's not hunger, because I know what hunger is, but it's actually just the release of those chemicals, so I need to bind up and get that stuff out of there so I can get my health to the next level. So I'll be using those essential oils as I move into the future. You know, they're great for reducing tumors, moving the lymphatic system, carrying heavy metals, and the chemtrails. I mean, you should see the chemtrails here. It's like unbelievable how many chemtrails here. And those are soil modification, weather modification, and human modification. If you don't believe me, do your research, look into it, and you'll find out real quick. So what are we doing to make sure that we're moving all of those metallic elements that are getting absorbed through our sinuses into our lungs and into our bloodstream and then storing in our tissues? And particularly messing up with our brain function, pituitary and pineal gland, is where the metals tend to accumulate around the brain and the nerves because it's an electrical system. So we've got to start tapping into higher levels of health information that we can use. My point about the Young Living essential oils thing is that Gary Young has his priority to sell whey protein. Now I understand your guys' Harley and Freely and all you vegans, I understand your position of not wanting to get involved with non-vegan companies or companies that sell you know, non-vegan products. Me, I am going to keep my association with Young Living oils, and I am going to use their products regardless of whether or not they use whey protein. That would be like me saying, trying to go to Whole Foods and say, hey, I won't buy grapes from you anymore because you sell chicken. You know what I mean? So I'm going to continue to be associated with Young Living essential oils, and if I can find a vegan company that sells more high quality oils so I can get those for my health program, then I will do that. But until then, I will take responsibility and say that I am associated with Young Living essential oils and they sell whey protein. Right now, I want to let you guys know, Harley, Freely, and the vegan crew, I want you guys to know that I understand and appreciate your love for the animals and your desire to help to relinquish their suffering. My personal mission, so that there's no more wires crossed here, is to alleviate human suffering. That's my focus. That's my area of interest. because I myself have suffered greatly in this life. And so I'm really inspired to help people to relieve their suffering. There's so much pain, and so much of it's unnecessary. And I think that this health information that we're sharing with more wholesome foods can help a lot of different people. And then there's some other great information too, like the mineral supplementation is going to be amazing. And I recommend everybody does research on the benefits of mineral supplementation. Just in the modern world, just the world as it is, we're not gardening anymore, we're not putting things back into the soil, we're using plants can grow from 3, 6, 9 elements, minerals. And those plants, they look like plants, and they look like tomatoes, and they have apples, but you'll realize the more flavorful something is, it's the minerals that give food flavor. But these plants, they can grow with 3, 6, 9 elements, ask any farmer. But the human body needs 60 essential minerals in order to really be able to function properly for long periods of time. And it's just not in the soil anymore. So if that puts me at the title of huckster, I will definitely accept that, and I will continue to press ahead, because I just really want to help people to alleviate these problems. The ADD is the lithium deficiency. There's vitamin and mineral deficiencies that come from the diabetes, the Alzheimer's. And another thing we could talk about is my love for the essential fats, getting animal-based, or not animal-based, but vegan-based cholesterol and essential fats as opposed to the animal fats. Now, the reason why I believe in making sure you're getting plenty of the essential fats from vegetarian or vegan sources is because otherwise, people are going to go back to the animal products. So I think I'm doing a great service on my side of things here, even though I am simply dedicated to the relinquishment of human suffering and haven't spent a lot of time focusing on the side of the animals. That's not really my area of interest. I think that by me promoting a raw vegan diet, with the exclusion of the bee products, because I think that the bee pollen has got an amazing amino acid profile, which is very important. I think it's important for people to know, especially mothers-to-be or for growing children, that the brain is constructed of essential fats and proteins. And the carbohydrates, of course, feed the brain, but the carbohydrates do not build the brain. So I think it's important for us to all understand that and make sure that we are, for our growing children. Now, that's another thing you all could help to understand right now, why I don't focus so much on the carbohydrates anymore as much as I've been focusing on the essential fats and the minerals, is because I am doing my best to rebuild my brain and nervous system right now, because my parents just didn't know any better and they did what they did, and it's a big long sob story, but hey, I'm coming out on top. And that's why I'm so incessant on being like 100% raw in my diet. And that's why I'm really doing a lot of the water fasting and the juice fasting. And then I'm using the essential fats to help me to rebuild my brain and nerves. That's just what I'm doing personally. I think that the runoff is these YouTube videos that I make. And I think a lot of people can really benefit from this. I'm going to be really waging money on the fact that as soon as people start catching wind of mineral supplementation and making sure they're getting plenty of essential fats and using certain things like seaweed, avocado, and leafy greens, what we're going to see is a reduction in the obesity and a reduction in the disease conditions. I think that there's so much that we can do in terms of autism, which is in 1 in 58 kids. I don't know if you guys understand what that means, but just a few years ago it was 1 in 10,000. We are having a major epidemic of health issues, and I'm simply enjoying myself doing research, thinking that some of the things that I'm learning as I help myself might help other people, So I'm going to continue to press ahead and do good work here. And I see a very bright future for myself. Of course, we've hit a little speed bump right here in the road because of some of the things that have been going on. For whatever reason you do what you do, Harley, I am not going to get angry. I've been very hurt by this, bro. And Christine is very hurt by this. And, I want to say this to you, Harley. Any day of the week that you want to email me And if you want to talk to me on the phone, I would really like that. I don't know how you feel on your end, but I feel like I did my best to be your friend. And I would love to talk with you. Like right now, like Doug and I, we've not always seen eye to eye, but you know, through this situation that we all are experiencing here, you know, Doug and I were corresponding, and we're getting a little bit closer every day. I have a huge ego, and you know, Doug isn't a perfect saint either, you know, so we're trying to do our very best to get along for the sake of everything, because I think the Woodstock Fruit Festival is a high-class event, you know what I mean? And for whatever reason, you know, they felt inclined to release you guys from pioneer status, you know, and I had nothing to do with that, you know, and neither did Christina, and I wouldn't even play the blame game either, because I think in the end there's a good important reason for that to happen. Maybe you guys need to go off on your own. You guys are doing incredibly well, both you and Freely, and I applaud you for your work, you know. Right now I don't know exactly how to feel, but I'm never going to be upset. I'm not going to get angry, and I'm not going to call names, and I'm not going to accusation, and I'm not going to make weird videos, and I'm not going to accuse or anything like that. That's just not my particular style. You have your style, Harley, and God bless you for it. You're doing a great job. You're getting the vegan message out there. I'm not really a vegan, you know what I mean? Because I do take the bee pollen, and so I'm not really associated with the vegan movement. So I know that a lot of people are going to need to unsubscribe from me for that reason, but it's probably for the best. I'm not going to be promoting the consumption of animal products in any way, shape, or form, but you know, if Young Living wants to sell essential oils, that's fine. You know, my cat eats eggs. I wear a leather belt. I don't have one on right now. My shoes are leather. You know, so I'm not really going to, that's not the road I'm going to go down. My hope for the future is that I can really reach out to a broader audience, and that's one of the beautiful things that happened through this whole experience, is that I've realized that, you know, I thought the raw vegan, it's a nice little box to put ourselves in, and it creates a great platform for people to build like a community or whatever. But I've decided that I'm really just going to reach out with more common sense health knowledge. Although myself personally, I am 100% raw person. I don't consume animal flesh, milk, cheese, or eggs, but I do probably eat maybe anywhere from 2 to 6 jars of honey per year. And I probably consume way more bee pollen. I think bee pollen has got an amazing amino acid profile, and I stand behind that 100%. I've never read anything online or heard an argument about the bees and why we would not want to consume bee products that was convincing. And if there was something that was convincing, I would listen to it. I do a lot of research. I've been even studying up on the bee products lately and doing some research. I haven't found any convincing arguments to say bee products will hurt you. Okay, and I've known a lot of beekeepers, and they've always cared for their bees. I've never known one abusive beekeeper in my life. So I don't have that angle there to look at things and go, hey man, you know, I'm not going to eat bee products. I think the benefits outweigh any of the cons. The pros have outweighed the cons so far for me. And I love the bee pollen, and I think the royal jelly helps to keep you strong. It's very good for your testosterone and to the production of seminal fluid for men. And a lot of vegans get weak. It's one problem I don't have. I stay particularly strong and keep my chi and my testosterone very, very high. God, I'd love to make a video about that one of these days, because a lot of guys, they're not able to keep their go power up. It's not a problem for me. In fact, a lot of times my girlfriend complains that I have too much of that type of energy. So I have to learn how to really be focused, you know, and when we're done, I got to stop and be finished. But anyways, that's because I do get, and it's gotten better too ever since I've been consuming more of the essential fats, because the cholesterol is absolutely necessary in order for the production of hormones and steroids, okay? So I'm going to continue to promote my message here, and you know, I'm happy to receive more of any of that stuff going on out there. I'm just going to have to continue to press ahead. There may be more challenges coming on, and I want you all to know. I want all of Harley and Freely's viewers to know I'm definitely feel hurt, and that's okay. I mean, I wish we could be friends, because I'm the type of guy who would love to be friends with everyone. I have not one single person on planet Earth that I dislike or have a problem with. There's only one person I'm focused on, and that is changing myself. And then what I do is make these videos on YouTube saying, hey, I'm taking a mineral supplement, I'm making coconut almond yogurt because I think that the glucose and the essential fats and the amino acids are more easily absorbable with the probiotics, breaking them down. A lot of people are not absorbing. That's a huge thing right now, is the absorption. So many people, particularly, that's why I don't really agree with the promotion of the carbohydrates right now, except for in the form of fruit, because I don't like the way that those starches go into the GI tract, and then I think they cause inflammation on the villi, and then that inflammation flares up on those little tiny villi, which are kind of like a soft velvety kind of hair-like structure inside the duodenum, or the small intestine. And that inflammation keeps, not only are the villi then laid out against the GI tract from the mucus, I believe from the grains. I've been inspired by Arnold Ehret quite a bit, Robert Morse and Lou Corona as well, and my own research too, and my own addiction to grains. As soon as I took out my addiction to grains, because that was one of the hardest things to get rid of, was my addictions to the grains. I mean, the bread and the pancakes was some of the last things to go. But the way that it affects the GI tract, and then I've always found that, I've done my fair share of research on the Crohn's and colitis and inflammation in the GI tract from the grains. So you guys are free to promote that if you want with your backup plan, and I think that's fine. I do think you're going to help a lot of people with that backup plan. Myself, I don't really have a backup plan because I'm like a fanatic. I'm totally fanatical on consuming everything raw, because I don't like what happens to the fats when they're high heated. And I don't like what happens to the carbohydrates when they're heated either, because I believe the acrylamides can also be quite dangerous and cause some issues with the blood. So, just if we could agree to disagree, that would be fine. And it would be great if, you could let me move ahead, without having to be, explain myself all the time that I'm associated with Young Living and everything else like that. But I'm not really a vegan police. Now, you guys got to remember, look, the vegan thing is really cool, and I appreciate that you're into that. I don't advocate animal suffering at all. I totally believe that you can be super radiantly healthy on a 100% raw vegan diet. You don't need the bee products. It's just that I enjoy them particularly. So I'm going to continue to move ahead and share this information with people to the best of my ability. There's been a little bump in the road here. Like I said, though, Harley, my email is, my private email, which I'm putting on a YouTube channel, is going to be theliferegenerator@gmail.com. Why don't you just send me an email, Harley, if it's for real, bro? And I'd love to talk to you, man. I have nothing against you. You may enjoy this in some kind of way. I don't know, bro. I've had a lot of pain in my life, and maybe you have too. And I know that this Woodstock Fruit Festival thing might have hurt you, and I'm really sorry about that. If it was up to me, I was just like, hey man, I don't really want to be involved in that decision-making process, because I don't feel like I have an objective opinion, because I've been hurt, because I do believe in calorie restriction. You know what I'm saying? I eat one meal a day. I haven't eaten anything today except 2 oranges, and I usually have a juice or 2 jars of juice, say, and then 1 meal at night. But my meals are so nutrient dense, and yet I'm maintaining 160 pounds. I'm getting more flexible every day. My energy has increased. My fitness levels are incredible. And my muscles feel tight. I know that my hormones are in a really good shape right now, and too good, actually. And I want to teach that to people, how they can keep that high into their 40s and have a nice six-pack if these gentlemen want that. So, you keep doing your thing, and if we can respectfully agree to disagree, I think that's what 2 men would do here. I think that we have a lot of similarities, but you know, I'm not ever going to be able to advocate like white sugar or anything like that. And don't think I'm ever going to be a fan of the grains. I think I'm a raw vegan for life. It just feels like I'm going to be doing that. Like I was told that 13 years ago. It took me 12 years to get to become 100% raw vegan without the bee products. I'm always politically correct now and stuff like that. But so we'll wrap this video up. And man, I just want to get back on this thing, you know, and do my thing. And I know that this isn't going to let up. Harley and Freely's viewers, you know, feel free, but come through with something more than CTFU. That's not going to convince me of anything. I love carbs, man, but I also love essential fats. And I also love minerals, and I also am really learning to appreciate the full spectrum amino acids here too, because I know that I'm going to want to be working with expectant mothers, something I've always been interested in. Hey, let's get them while they're young. Let's avoid the birth defects. We're talking about major birth defects. We're talking about autism. We're talking about ADD, and you know what? It's not that difficult to understand what it takes to keep these things from happening. There is a conspiracy here. This is the last thing I'll say to you, Harley and Freely. We shouldn't be enemies. You know, our messages differ a little bit. There's some kind of static there for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, you know. But look, man, there is something big going on here, and it's like money oriented, and it's like they don't really have any motivation. The medical, pharmaceutical, USDA and FDA, there's no real motivation for them to really cure anything, you know. For me, it's like it really just sucks. That kind of makes me angry. I think that sucks and I'm really excited that I'm able to make a career out of, hey man, there's another option. You know, maybe your doctor doesn't know how to help you, but check this out, man. If you use these raw foods, and you can, with the organic raw foods, you can avoid the pesticides. You can keep your colon clean. You know, you can start to activate that villi so that you can start washing away some of that mucoid plaque. If you don't think there's mucoid plaque, then you have never been on a water fast and done an enema. I've seen mucoid plaque, the shape of my small intestine, come out after being a raw vegan. 98% raw vegan for 11 years. After a 10-day water fast, it was a piece of mucoid plaque like that came out of my small intestine. I stood there with a pencil, picked it up out of the toilet, and I just stood there and I looked at it and I just put it on the counter and I just couldn't believe it. So there's mucoid plaque, which is keeping the absorption from taking place. That's why I love juicing. That's why I'm going to help people to make sure they're getting plenty of the acid in the stomach. And then the duodenum, the small intestine, that's alkaline. And then the colon, you got to keep that clean. So there's a lot to share here to help people alleviate those disease conditions. So I'm really looking forward to helping the moms out there. The preconception, prenatal nutrition, God, give these kids a chance. There's not a lot I can do with some of you adults out there. They're going to be hard-headed about all this and never want to listen to a word I say. But there is going to be some people that I'm going to continue to help. My friends Tavis and Lou and I are teaming up here to go on a campaign worldwide. Look forward to the Jedi Council. We're going to be doing a seminar here, a 3-day seminar in May. So we're looking forward to doing that. Lou Corona, Tavis Bradley, Dan McDonald. So anyways, God bless you, Harley. And Freely, and please feel free to email me, bro. And this isn't just me you jerking your chain or trying to look good. Just give me a call, man. Let's talk. Let's talk on the phone. I'll find a way to put it on my dime. I'll spend $500 just to get a chance to talk to you, man. And you don't have to stop your thing on YouTube against me. Just email me. Talk to me, man. Let me know what's going on. Let me find out what's really going on. I've been hurt too, man. Let's talk, please. I would really like that a lot. Okay? So bless you all, and I hope that everyone has continued success. And that's what I have to say about that. Now y'all get ready for some good DTM videos because they're coming. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. Anthony, I'm sorry, man. I really hope you can resubscribe to my videos and come on back, man, because my health information is solid. I'm sorry about the whey protein, but that's just how it is, man. You know, right now. So I gotta go, y'all. My time is up.